That game is something else.
That's the next Brian's Bathtime.
Hold on, Halo 2 is the Dark Souls of the Halo series.
Shut up.
No. Hello, everyone, and welcome back to DCM, Doritos, Connections, and Mountain Dew with another podcast. I'm your host, Howard.
I'm your co-host, David Scrivani.
And we are back with another episode of Brian's Bathtime. Say hi, Brian.
Hey.
Are you ready for another bath?
Yeah.
This time we're bathing.
It's been like 2 months.
Exactly. We're bathing in Soulsborne, baby.
So you need to practice better hygiene.
I know, it's kind of nasty.
I know. I think
that means we need to
me.
keep doing these more often, so he bathes more often.
Yeah, this isn't for you. This is just mainly for him.
Yeah.
He needs it.
He needs more. What's the word I'm looking for?
Initiative?
Yeah.
There we go.
Initiative to bathe.
Okay.
More initiative.
Dirty boy.
So you wanted to talk to us about I only had the message of Dark Souls. There wasn't much else to go on.
That's what he told me. I just passed along the message.
Listen, you guys were like, hey, you have any time coming up? I was like, yeah. And then you were like, you have anything specific you want to talk about? And I said, I don't know. I mean, like, I know a lot about Dark Souls and, like, specifically Bloodborne.
All right, so then we can do that, okay?
Okay.
So I guess for background, because you want to talk about Dark Souls, it's I guess there has to be some background. It's not the first one's technically Demon Souls, correct?
Yeah.
Okay, so it starts.
And the newest one is also technically Demon Souls.
Technically, yes. It's an action RPG that focuses on like exploring worlds and hyperfixation on like learning enemy attack patterns and trying to be able to adapt and make builds to then adapt to. Basically, it's a hyper attentive action RPG.
Yeah, and also masochism.
That too. And it starts with Demon Souls, which let's just get that out of the way. Have you even played Demon Souls?
I have.
The original?
I have played the original.
Okay, so I guess we can start there. So can you explain what the original's like? Because all I remember when I was like in high school is that it looked chunky, and that's about it.
All right.
I mean, it was. When did the game come out?
It came out. It was like a PS3 launch title.
Yeah, that's probably why it looks chunky.
Wait, was it a launch title?
Yeah.
No way! I didn't even know that.
Maybe not like an actual launch, but like early in the cycle.
No. It was
an actual launch title
because it was revealed alongside the PS3.
Oh wow!
Which is why the Demon Souls remake was
a launch title.
Actually, no. Wait, I might be wrong. No,
wow.
I think it.
Fake Souls fan.
I do think it was a launch title. I'm pretty sure, or at least it came out within the first year. I don't know.
So is that the first one you played or no?
No,
you probably played Dark Souls first.
Yeah, I played Dark Souls 1.
Yep.
And then I played 3. Then I played Bloodborne. No, I played 1, Bloodborne, 3, 2, Demon Souls Remaster.
Is it weird that that's kind of like the order I've heard everyone has played these games?
I mean, no
in?
one seems to like Dark Souls 2 that much. So
yeah, like
okay, all right. Let me break it down. Okay,
okay.
Right,
So we're doing we're breaking it down.
Should we have him do a tier list like we had Cecil do all the Doom games?
Yeah, we'll do that after the explanations.
All right.
Okay. All right. So, am I explaining the story or the general
I don't know.
reception?
You do what you want.
You do.
This is your podcast.
Go for it.
Okay. All right. You know what? I'm going to talk about the evolution of the games.
Go for it. Do it.
Because the story, it doesn't matter.
You know what? Honestly, hot take, same.
The story of the games is the Dark Souls games is pretty universal. It's just like you're a dead guy, and your job is to keep a fire going, and you can do it or not, and that's it.
If you want any more information, the game won't tell you. There's a wikia on the internet that you can learn more about literally anything.
It's pretty cool, but it has absolutely no sway over the game.
Exactly.
So generally kind of how the games evolved was you got Demon Souls, which is like the bare bones Souls game. You got everything that you're accustomed to, like you can hold a shield and stuff, and the game looks like shit. The movement is like really bad. I honestly don't like the original Demon Souls, and I don't actually like the Demon Souls remaster that much because
Really?
they're both really hard to play in terms of just like it just doesn't feel good to control your character. I don't think they really got everything down like they did with Dark Souls 1. And all the weapons are kind of like eh. And the upgrade system really sucks because there's like 40 something upgrade materials, which is like ridiculous. And if you're going for a dexterity build, there is one place to get the final upgrade and it has like a 0.1 drop percentage. So good luck. Yeah.
So what you're saying is Demon Souls Remaster is absolutely worth the $70.
I bought it. It is definitely worth getting if you like the Souls games, haven't played Demon Souls, and you want a justification for having the PS5.
And can't wait for Elden Ring.
Yeah. Can't wait for
Elden Ring. Did they change the fact that Elden Ring's a Xbox exclusive? Is that
No, Elden Ring's still coming out on everything.
No,
Okay.
I never heard it was going to be an Xbox exclusive.
Didn't they show it off at Microsoft?
Microsoft shows off everyone's
Oh, that's
games. They don't
fair.
care.
I think I just got the wires crossed there.
Oh,
and
okay.
just assumed it was an Xbox exclusive.
And then so Demon Souls came out. Like no one really liked it that much.
Yeah.
It had like a really dedicated community, but like the general public was like, eh. But actually, Sony, who's the head guy at Sony right now?
Some Japanese dude.
Yeah, I forget his name. But apparently, when they went to go like preview the game, he fucking hated it. Like he saw it and he was like, "This game is too hard. People are gonna hate it." And they were like, "This sucks."
I think I probably talked to you about it. It was either a Did You Know Gaming or a What Happened from Matt McMuscles did an episode on Demon Souls, and I think they mentioned that like when they pitched the game to Sony, they specifically left out the very necessary information of the game's difficulty. They didn't mention it at all.
They just kept it on the down low.
Actually, yeah, that leaves out one very important thing I have to talk about with Demon Souls. Okay, so Demon Souls has like a really bad difficulty snowball that I wish they would have left out from the remaster. Basically, the more you die, the harder the game gets.
I do remember this.
Because there's a world tendency system, and it goes down the more you die, and it goes up if you like are summoned as a phantom and you help people kill bosses, or if you kill invaders and stuff. Dying is a lot easier than doing either of those two other things. So
Dying
you
is
have
easier than playing the game.
Yeah, so you have like really shit players trying out this game, dying a lot, and they're like, this game is fucking impossible. Because then you get like normal enemies that spawn as like red phantoms, and they have like a gargantuan amount of health, like a swimming pool amount. So it kind of snowballs into this. I don't want to play this anymore because this is really shitty. You can get like really good items, and there are like some trade-offs to being in like bad world tendency, but it's not enough for a new player. So all these new players like tried it, and they're like, "This fucking sucks." Because I'm just getting bodied by everything, and I think a lot of normal enemies actually get a health increase as well.
Honestly, I am full. I'm self-aware. I'd probably be one of those people.
Yeah. So then after that game came out, and it kind of got all right reception, we had like a big, like a relatively modest community of people that really liked it. And then Dark Souls 1 came out.
Yeah.
And that's the one that everyone was like, this is it.
Yeah, this is it.
This is it. Because that was the first one. I played it on the original Xbox. 30 frames per second. Really bad frame drops. But it was probably at that point like one of the best like action RPGs I ever played. It was a lot of fun.
Yeah, it was fun. It was supposed to be called Dark Ring.
No, it wasn't. Was it actually?
Yeah, but then they realized it meant butthole in England.
Oh, okay. Yeah, you know what? I can see that. Yeah.
Yeah, because like that, I remembered hearing that, and then the opening cutscene is like that Ring of Fire, and I was like, oh, that would make more sense than Dark Souls.
Yeah. I mean, Dark Souls just sounds like a really edgy like.
It is kind of a generic name.
It's a very generic name. Yeah.
I mean, considering like half the designs in the whole entirety of Dark Souls is just inspired by Berserk, which is also a generically titled comic.
Yep. Yeah, actually, the entire Soulsborne series has like I think 70% of it's just ripped from Berserk.
Oh, I mean, yeah, isn't like I remember what was Dark Souls 2? You can literally get Guts' sword.
What?
No, every Dark Souls game has it's just generic ultra great sword is just the Berserk sword.
Yeah.
That's it.
Wow.
It's the first one you unlock. It's not even well hidden.
I mean,
at all.
I knew about the influences, but I didn't know there was just such blatant an Easter egg.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I'm pretty sure there's like a monster or two that's literally blatantly taken from Berserk.
Yeah, it's probably Artorias. He does a lot of flips.
Probably, yeah.
Yeah, and he has a pet dog.
Yeah. So Dark Souls 1, now I did also play, I think that's the only one I've technically beaten. Yeah, that's the first one. That's the only one I've beaten.
Dark Souls 1 is really, I mean, probably if you're going to play like any of them, Dark Souls 1 is the way to go. It like at first it's really hard, but it's the only game where you can just make the most bullshit like fuck you game build and nothing can touch you.
Yeah. Yeah. It's really, it's honestly like the amount of options it gives you to do in the beginning is ridiculously stupid.
Yeah. Yeah. Like you get a lot of build diversity like right off the bat, and you can go with like heavy armor. And if you go with heavy armor and you don't care about speed, as long as you're just not putting yourself in just like really shitty situations, you're going to be okay. And like nothing's really going to be able to touch you because poise was like a really big part of the game, which basically just means like you can't get stunned out of anything, which makes everything in the game like a cakewalk except for bosses. So like the game, like you can easily cheese it to the end, like really easily.
I mean, yeah, there's that one boss where you can literally trip them off the stage to kill them.
Yeah.
Oh, wow.
Ceaseless Discharge.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's a name.
The worst name and probably the worst boss. Yeah, but anyways.
Yeah, you're right.
Anyway, Dark Souls 1 was like the game. That was it. And it was around like the first time I played it, I was like a Call of Duty Halo person. Mm-hmm. So I really didn't do any of that kind of stuff. But that game,
he was a normie.
Yeah,
normie.
That Dark Souls was like around the time where I stopped playing all that shit like a lot. I still played it, but I played a lot of Dark Souls.
Wait, we can't call him normie. I just beat Halo 2 for the first time like the other day.
Halo 2 is that game. That game is something else.
That's the next Brian's Bathtime.
Hold on, Halo 2 is the Dark Souls of the Halo series.
Shut up.
No. That's the name of the episode.
What, this episode or the next episode?
This episode.
Halo 2 is the Dark Souls of Halo.
Yeah, it's because you got no health and you can get killed by anything.
I feel like that's more Halo 1, Combat Evolved. Isn't that more punishing?
Nope.
Are you sure?
No, because you had
positive.
a health bar like after the shields. If Halo 2, you only had shields and then you were gonzo.
And
I seem to recall we had a much more difficult time when Combat Evolved.
Yeah, you want to know why?
Because it's chunky and old.
That's fair.
Do you want to know why we had a rough time with Halo 1?
Why?
Because of the library.
That's also true. The library sucks.
And also, Halo 1 has some of the worst, most dog shit level design I've ever seen.
That is true.
See?
The game and the sandbox is like the best in the series, but like the missions themselves, like in the later half of the game, fuck no.
Yeah.
Actually, it has a lot in common with Dark Souls 1 because the end half of Dark Souls 1 sucks shit. It's bad. And you know what? I don't
Tell us
even
how you really feel.
I don't actually feel bad about saying it because the game director, it's Miyazaki, I think. He fully admitted they just ran out of time. So there's like, if you go back and you play the original Dark Souls, like the original, not the remaster,
Yeah.
the remaster in big air quotes, there are parts of Lost Islet specifically where they just didn't put the floor in and you can see through the world.
Oh.
Yeah.
Okay.
And also the bosses in that area, specifically everyone's worst nightmare, the Bed of Chaos, or the Bed of Bullshit. That boss, I think he said, was like the worst one they've ever made.
Oh.
Wait, which one was the Bed of Chaos again?
That's the giant tree monster that can kind of slap you off and you don't actually directly fight it. You kind of have to go to the corners of the room and kill a worm. And then you go to the center. It's like a jumping puzzle.
That sounds stupid.
Okay, I remember this.
In a game not built for jumping.
Yeah, because again, movement on ground, fine,
Yeah.
right? Because it's a little stiff, but it's meant to be stiff because you got to learn about hitboxes and like when when to parry and dodge.
Yeah.
Yeah. Actual jumping, no.
No.
No, never do it. Never do it. It's terrible.
Because in that game, you have to build up. You have to like sprint, and then you press B or whatever your, whatever the sprint button is. You press it again, and then you'll do like a hop, and that's jumping. That's it. So you need to have enough space. You're like an airplane.
It's like a little bunny hop,
You have to have enough space to take off, and then yeah.
I remember there was some items that there's like this really thin plank of wood.
Yep.
And it's like, oh, okay, I can get the item, but then you look and it's 3 little planks of wood in the distance, each with gaps in them, and you gotta like jump. And I'm like, this isn't Crash Bandicoot. This is Dark
Yeah.
Souls, okay?
Yeah.
Crash Bandicoot's the Dark Souls, the platformers.
Yeah, so after that part of the game, that was like all padding. So, yeah, Dark Souls 1, aside from Halo 2,
Yeah.
they have a lot in common.
Okay, so hold on. Before we move on to Dark Souls 2, what? Okay, so I've heard a lot, and I never got a clear answer. What is so bad about the Dark Souls remaster? Is it not like an actual remaster?
So the Dark Souls remaster, like a lot of, it's kind of like one of those things where it's like I'm kind of glad it came out for new consoles, but it is barely an upgrade from the original. The only thing it really does is it makes online easier. It makes the game run at 60, and it does a couple other things, but it's nowhere needed, like at all.
So it's just an upgraded port. It's not really a remaster.
It's a cash grab.
Yeah, it is essentially the same exact game with some features taken from Dark Souls 3.
Okay. All right.
Yeah.
All right.
There's still like a lot. Like I think they only patched like 10% of the bugs that were in the original game, so they barely did anything, and there's still like some actual game-breaking issues.
No.
Game speed is still still tied to frame rate, which is never a good practice. And then like there's a bunch of like PvP shit that they just didn't fix.
It's just like that one Need for Speed game where they tied the car's speed to the frames. So if you double the frames, the game goes 2 times fast.
Yeah. Oh, that actually is also a problem in Dark Souls 2. But
I was thinking of the thing in Doom 2016 where the BFG blast, like the tendrils like go by the frame rate. So like if you open the weapon wheel while the BFG is going, it just keeps taking down enemies' health, even though it's going very slow.
That's hilarious.
And that's like a legit speedrunning tactic for boss fights. You just fire a BFG and just hold the weapon wheel and let it go.
I love shit like that though. That's funny.
That is really funny.
Because like it's like it's there, but like it's funny. I think it's funny. I don't know. Some people are just like, oh, this ruins the game. But you don't have to use it.
All right, Brian, tell us why Dark Souls 2 sucks so much.
All right, hot take. Dark Souls 2 isn't that bad. Is
it the worst of the trilogy?
It's definitely the worst of the trilogy, but I'd say that like it's definitely got a lot more like, dare I say, charm than like Dark Souls 3 does. Mm-hmm. Dark Souls 2 it's like the only game that was made by the quote unquote B team at From Software. Even though that really just means that they had some people from the original and then some new people that never worked on a Souls game. Mm-hmm. It's got a lot of new like stuff. A lot of the areas are like more linear. So at Dark Souls 1, you have a lot of like looping level design. I think Super Bunny Hop said it best where it was like Dark Souls is like spaghetti and meatballs in a cup.
Yeah.
In terms of level design. So you have a lot of like, you don't have a lot of horizontal space. You have a lot of vertical space. So like you have to like, you're like working your way down or working your way up from any given point.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And that's like really clever because it makes it so you don't have to cover a lot of ground as long as you're opening up these shortcuts, which are like the key like progression of the game aside from leveling. So like that's really clever, but then with Dark Souls 2, they kind of did away with it in most areas where they're just like, you have a lot of horizontal space to cover, go do it. And then in response to that change in level design, they put in like a ton of really useless like bonfires that serve no purpose. And so you have a lot of areas that are kind of just like eaten and then like, you know, they're just like, you go through them really fast and you never see them again. With Dark Souls 1, that's not really the case. You kind of have to do a lot of backtracking, which I appreciate because like these areas in the first game, they have like a lot of personality because you keep going back and then like you go there from like different directions and like they're like, oh, I didn't know you could get here from there or whatever. Dark Souls 2 isn't like that. However, I think the biggest problem people had with the game was like the combat was kind of different. A lot of the areas pit you against groups of enemies instead of single enemies. The big appeal to Dark Souls 1 was that you're going against like a different, like, you know, you're going against like 1 or 2 enemies at a time. But if you fuck up, like half your health can be gone, as long as you're not rocking one of those fuck you builds. But then with Dark Souls 2, it's not like that. You're going against like 5 guys, which can be really obnoxious. So you kind of have to kite them away. And it just slows the game down and like makes it kind of like boring. And if you die, you're like, that's bullshit. A lot of the boss fights are like 3 enemies, but like really big.
That sounds lame.
They're big dudes. Yeah, there's not a lot of monster fights in Dark Souls 2. There's a lot of just guys that are tall with big weapons.
Okay.
Literally berserk.
Yeah.
Literally berserk.
Yeah. Yeah, so I mean like it was definitely a miss with people. They like instead of using the Estus Flask system for healing, you have like consumables, and if you run out of consumables, you have to either buy them or you have to farm them. So that also slowed the game down and made it more grindy. And there was just a lot of bullshit in there, but I think a lot of people forget about how good the build diversity was. Dark Souls 2 remains the only game where a poison, toxic, any magic really, basically anything that you want to go for, you can make work in that game. Dark Souls 1, not really. Like you couldn't do like a poison build or anything. There was only like a couple builds that were like absolutely like, yeah, that's a great idea. And then Dark Souls 3 is just like, you have like 3 builds you can do, and that's about it. Yeah, so Dark Souls 2 is like really good on the diversity of the stuff you could do, but the game itself was kind of lacking, which I think is what a lot of people don't like about it. But if you ask a lot of people who did a lot of PvPing in Dark Souls 2, which is something my good friend Keegan did a lot of, as well as me, we did a lot of PvP in Dark Souls 2, and that was a lot of fun. A lot of fun. The game itself was just not there in terms of.
So would you maybe consider Dark Souls 2 a cult classic?
Dark Souls 2 is definitely a cult classic. It's a lot like Demon Souls, where it has just a small minority of people that are just like, this is the best. And while I don't agree with them, I can see why they like it so much. A lot of the like heavy PvP centered players fucking love that game. But I just can't do it just because of I just like playing the game. Like PvP's never really been my speed.
Okay.
Yeah.
And then do you want to move on to Dark Souls 3 now?
Or should we go by
I think we should go by
chronological order.
Release.
So
Okay.
like Bloodborne would be
Then
next.
Bloodborne.
All right, so Dark Souls 2 Scholar of the First Sin. Now we're going to talk about that now.
Okay, well, I mean, I can mention it because I forgot about it.
Yeah.
Dark Souls 2 Scholar of the First Sin actually fixed a lot of problems that the original game had by kind of just changing around where enemies are and some items, and that was really all they had to do to make the game bearable to play.
All right.
The boss fights were still not great though. They were still really disappointing, and there was like this one, the one of like the first bosses, which is like Undead Giant or something, and it's literally just a tree man with a hole in his head, and it looks like shit. In the cutscene, he's like, I'll never forget this, but like the first time I played it, the cutscene, I was like, oh shit, this guy's running at me. So he breaks out of like the wall because he's kind of like stuck in there, and he breaks out of it and he runs at you full speed. But then you're taken out of the cutscene and he's just like slowly walking towards you. But the cutscene had him like sprinting full speed.
Oh, wow.
The only thing I know about Scholar of the First Sin is that there was a specific enemy type because like Ryan said, you had to grind to get stuff. And I forget what it was, but it's really easy if you grinded this one enemy, and there was a place where there was a bonfire, and the enemy spawned, and you could basically like stab him in the back, and then go back to the bonfire. He respawns, etc. Scholar of the First Sins got rid of that, and like because that grinding spot was so early in the game, it could make you overpowered by the end of it. Yeah, it's Scholar of the First Sin fixed it, so you actually have to play the game. Unfortunately.
Yep. Unfortunately. Yeah. I remember that.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I mean, it also added like a new NPC. I forgot his name, but he like gave more story exposition. I mean, it doesn't matter, but he's there, and he sounds cool, and he's like a fiery blob dude.
Well, that's good.
Yeah,
that's good.
So that's always cool.
So Bloodborne, tell us.
Okay, so first of all, so all these, I think Demon Souls was made by Sony, right? Like produced by Sony.
Yep.
Dark Souls is Bandai Namco Bandai.
Yep.
There we go. And this is also Sony again. Bloodborne is Sony.
Bloodborne is Sony, produced by Sony again.
Produced by Sony again.
So it's a PlayStation exclusive. Still might not be soon.
I feel like people have been talking about a PC port for years, ever since the game came out. I feel.
Yeah, but the thing that kind of like makes me think maybe it'll come out is because Sony's been doing a lot of PC ports lately, like a lot of them, or they've been lining up a ton of them.
I think it's still Sony exclusive, even if you put it on PC.
Yeah.
Right.
Well, because they're gonna get they're gonna have like.
Yeah, I mean, I would still consider Halo a Xbox exclusive.
Yeah, most Xbox exclusives are like on PC.
Yeah.
So like, I mean, they're still. That's why they put in the caveat console exclusive.
Yeah. Yep.
So like, did they confirm it, or is it just like rumored?
It's rumored at this point. It's really only a rumor, but it's kind of been like. You know how like when stuff is leaked, like it shows up on like international storefronts sometimes early, and then it's like released, like it's kind of that's been the case.
Okay,
I don't necessarily believe it because like it's so easy to fake shit now.
Yeah, also,
but it would be nice.
Also, it seems like Sony isn't responsive when anyone says anything about Bloodborne.
Yeah, honestly, I have a feeling that every time anyone brings up a rumor with Bloodborne, even if there's a legitimate project, Sony's just like, you know what, fuck it. I hate these guys. Shut the project down. No Bloodborne PS5 port or PC port. Yeah, I feel like Sony's a very spiteful company.
You know what? I agree with that.
Yeah, I feel like that they're gonna go out of their way just to be like, fuck you.
What's that? Days Gone only got 80s instead of 100s? Cancel the sequel. We're done with it. Bye-bye.
Make that Last of Us remaster.
That's right. We're turning back into Xbox One, Microsoft. 3 franchises, baby. God of War. What is it? Horizon Zero Dawn and
Last of
Us.
Yep.
Those are the only 3, baby.
Yep.
Oh, and Spider-Man for some reason.
Spider-Man.
Because when I think of PlayStation, I think of Spider-Man.
Spider-Man.
So tell us about Bloodborne, Brian.
Right.
You have a big thing on your arm that's Bloodborne.
I do. Bloodborne is my favorite game in the series.
It's your favorite game of all time?
It is. Yeah, you know what? It is probably my favorite game of all time.
Okay.
For a little while, Dead Space 2 was my favorite game of all time. But then Bloodborne came out and changed all that. Bloodborne is the gothic horror / cosmic horror offshoot of the Souls games. It is essentially the same gameplay except really fast. And you also can't block anything.
Yeah, which honestly, Bloodborne is way more my speed than Dark Souls.
Yeah, Dark Souls is very methodical. It really counts on you fucking up. Like if you swing at a turn, is really hard to recover because then you have to heal, and healing takes forever. Dark Souls 1 you can't move when you're healing, which kills a lot of people.
Yeah.
Dark Souls 2 you can, but you move really slow. Bloodborne, you can move, but your healing is a consumable item. So kind of run into the same issue as Dark Souls 2, where you have to grind healing stuff if you know. But yeah, so Bloodborne, it's a really mobile game. Like, not like a mobile game, but you have to be really
Coming
fast.
soon to mobile phones everywhere, Bloodborne.
Bloodborne is a lot like Doom. If you stop during combat, you're going to get fucked.
Yeah, you die.
Yeah. All the enemies are really fast, and you don't have as many like tools to block damage than you did in like the Souls games. So you have to really rely on like dashing. So instead of having like a dodge roll in this game, you have more of a quick step dash thing
Yeah.
as long as you're locked onto an enemy.
The easiest way to explain this is as in the whole Soulsborne franchise, this is the Devil May Cry of Soulsborne.
Yeah, actually.
Is that why you like it so much, Josh?
Honestly, yeah. I mean, like, honestly, because, like, Devil May Cry is quick. This is also quick, so that's why I like it.
Yeah. Yeah, no, this... I think the reason I like this game so much is because with the Souls games, you have a lot of, like... Not like evolution, it's more just kind of like slight offshoots of certain like systems from earlier games, specifically around like healing and stuff like that.
Mm-hmm.
But with Bloodborne, you have complete changes to how weapons work. You don't have blocking at all, which at the time, like you had the Souls games, one of the givens was that you could block stuff.
Yeah, it's all about parrying in Bloodborne.
It's all about parrying in Bloodborne, which I mean is... You could argue that it's really easy, but I've seen people not grasp it. So I don't really know how much of an argument.
Are you talking about me right now, Brian?
You kind of learned how to parry. But yeah, I think with Bloodborne, it was just such a breath of fresh air because like you have all these different things that you have to like do now. You have to learn how to like dodge like at the right moment. The weapons are now like you have way less weapons, but they all have their very own unique identity. And they have like 2 modes. So they're like called trick weapons. So you can be in a combo and then like you can change the weapon to like its other form and then it has a completely other move set. It's just it's really cool. Like it's really neat. And I really like it. And the enemy design is probably my favorite in the series. They're all really varied. In the beginning of the game, it's like really gothic horror. So you have these huge like cathedrals and like these, you know, like this gothic city kind of thing with like a giant clock tower in the middle. It's really cool, like really atmospheric. You have all these kind of werewolf enemies sort of thing. It's
so you're saying Resident Evil Village stole from Bloodborne?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
So you have like it's just like really defined enemies and they're really neat. And then halfway through the game, it does this huge switch into like cosmic horror. So you have like squiddy sea things kind of like around, and you have like these giant things hanging from buildings. I don't know. And then just like the enemy design, it just goes absolutely wild at the end of the game. Some are better than others. There's definitely some enemies in there that kind of suck. How far in the game have you got, Josh?
I think I only got to like the first or second boss. Okay. I remember I borrowed the game from I literally just got a copy.
You're not much further than I am.
Yes, okay. True.
So I won't spoil it because in case you ever go to play it. But you get some like really crazy enemy design, and it really does go to like cosmic horror, like these unknowable gods that like are just, you don't know what they're like all about. There's a lot of stuff with like dream worlds that you can like walk in. They're kind of layered on top of each other. So it gets really, really crazy, and I really like it because I'm down for that shit.
So now I have 2 important things to ask you. One, what are your thoughts and opinions on Bloodborne Kart?
I want it.
You want it?
I do.
Okay.
Do you think we'll ever get it?
No.
Maybe as a fan game.
Actually, that leads directly into my second thing. Have you seen the de-evolved version of Bloodborne where they make it look like a PlayStation 1 game?
I think I have.
Yeah, have you seen this, Dave?
I think so. It sounds vaguely familiar.
Yeah, where like they're trying to make it so it has descaled graphics, so everything looks and sounds like a PlayStation 1 game, but it still plays as smooth as like
I've
game.
definitely seen that. Yeah,
which I honestly adore. It looks so good.
Yeah, no, Bloodborne could pass as a PS1 game for sure.
Yeah, like looks and aesthetic wise, like it so can.
Yeah, because I mean, like it's not a super detailed game. It's more about like big picture, like the cityscape kind of thing. With Bloodborne though, aside from the main game, the DLC is the only time in the series.
The Old Hunters, right? Yeah,
it is the only time in the series where I have been like, this is 100% better than the main game. It is.
Isn't there like a huge difficulty spike between the base game and the DLC?
Absolutely. If you play the game and you go into New Game Plus and then you play the DLC, you are going to have a hard time. I did this my first time. The level you will be around when you start New Game Plus is going to be probably around like 90, maybe 120 if you power level. If you're a New Game Plus, the recommended level for the DLC is like 200.
Oh.
So you're going to have a hell of a time.
So only play that DLC on your first run through?
Yeah.
Yes. Definitely play it on your first run through. I think the level requirement is like 90, so you can kind of be all right doing it.
Yeah, so it's like late game.
It is very much late game. You do not want to go there when you first start. I made the worst decision of my life and did a blood level 4 run through of the game, which is not leveling at all. Just leveling your weapon. Actually, no, I didn't level my weapon at all. No. Yeah, there is the one item everyone uses to kind of circumvent that is it kind of like ups your damage the more you hit stuff, and that's the way to get around it. But I did that, and the first boss fight of the DLC, name is Ludwig. It took me 30 minutes.
Oh.
Yeah. And he only needs to hit you once.
All right.
Yeah. So it's really, really hard.
So you mean 30 minutes, like no deaths? Just
fight.
Just one fight, 30 minutes.
One fight to kill him, 30 minutes.
Just because you were just doing so little damage.
Yes.
All right.
Yep. Yeah. Unfortunately, I did not record any of this because it would have taken up a lot of space. And I also just wasn't thinking because I don't know. But yeah, it's hard. So even going through leveled properly, it's going to be a rough time. The boss design of the DLC is great. So like there's only one boss in the DLC that's kind of a miss, and failures is in their name. So it kind of works out just fine.
Self-fulfilling prophecy.
It's a self-fulfilling prophecy. Yeah. But yeah, the DLC is the only, the Old Hunters DLC is the only time in the series I can confidently say that the DLC is 100% better than the main game, and I love the main game. But the DLC is so good it could honestly just be a sequel. Yeah, I love this game a lot. I have a Bloodborne tattoo because I adore it. Yeah, I don't want to spoil anything about it because I just want people to go play it. The only downside of the game that I can confidently say is that the PvP / co-op kind of sucks. Like the system that they used is not good. You can only summon someone by ringing a bell, and then if you ring that bell, then a certain enemy will spawn, and then they can summon invaders to come invade you. The problem is the netcode is really bad. So it's always... I don't think that the game can really handle how fast everyone's going. So you get a lot of lag spikes that are like really bad and detrimental to the game and the experience. So the PvP is not good. I don't know anyone who actually enjoys the PvP for Bloodborne because it's just not fun. The co-op is good though. I actually co-oped through the game. I helped Keegan finish it, and I helped my girlfriend Allie finish it. So. But it's a lot of fun.
All right, so that leads us to the next one.
Dark Souls 3.
Dark Souls 3.
Dark Souls 3. Easily one of the most disappointed times I've played a game.
Okay.
And it's not a bad game. Let me put that out there. In terms of actual game design and how much fun I've had, it's great. It's just very derivative.
Yeah, it seems like the most streamlined approach to the whole genre.
You have a lot of systems from Dark Souls 1 and 2 that were completely stripped out of the game. You no longer have poise, so you can't kind of power through attacks anymore. So getting stunned is like really easy. And you just have way less build diversity, and especially off of Dark Souls 2, I think a lot of people are really disappointed because you have like strength, dexterity, quality, which is a mix of both, which was easily the best build from day one, because then you can use literally every weapon in the game. And then you have magic, which was toned down significantly. And then even after, there was like a couple really good spells, like the Death Star laser. It was called Soulstream. If you got, there's a really funny video online of some dude summoning 3 of his friends. One of them distracts an invader, and then the other 3 people like come up from behind and do this spell that's just like a giant laser beam, and it looks like the Death Star laser. It's great. But the magic was just completely toned down. Same thing for like pyromancy. It just wasn't like, it wasn't diverse enough for a lot of fans, and it definitely wasn't diverse enough for me. And a lot of the areas were very much just like, this is Dark Souls 1, kinda. They have a lot of areas that were either directly inspired or directly ripped from Dark Souls 1, which was really disappointing. A lot of people could argue that it was like an homage to the series because Dark Souls 3 is supposedly going to be the last Dark Souls game. Supposedly. But I would argue that the DLC did better at being a homage than the main game.
Okay.
Because the DLC did it. Like,
What's the DLC called again? I can't remember.
So the 2 DLCs you got.
2 DLCs, okay.
Yeah, the 2 DLCs you got for Dark Souls 3 were Ashes of Ariandel, which is a lot like the Painted World from Dark Souls 1, so it's very snowy. You have a lot of crow enemies, and there's a lot of like kind of gothic stuff in there as well. It's pretty cool, but you can get through that DLC in like 20 minutes if you know what you're doing. And then the second DLC, which is significantly longer and much better, it's called The Ringed City. It is a city for the undead. It is something that's been talked about since the first game, but you've never seen it. So that's why I think it's much better than what Dark Souls 3 was trying to do. Because it's an area that you could see being in the first game, for sure, but it just wasn't. And you have really cool items, really cool enemy designs. There's one really bullshit enemy design. It was just a very good experience, and 2 of the best bosses in the series, with Midir and Slave Knight Gale. I think that's his name. Yeah, it's been a while. They're both the hardest in the series for sure, next to Orphan of Kos from the Old Hunters. I think
Was Midir that one that you showed me that was basically like an homage to Shin Godzilla or something?
Yes, yeah. Dark Eater Midir is a dragon, and he literally just does the atomic breath from Shin Godzilla with the laser beam.
And it's purple too.
It
right?
is a purple pink laser beam that just goes all over the place. It's great.
Proof they steal everything.
Yeah. I mean, both FromSoft and FromSoft's in Japan, so
That's true.
Who's calling? Is it Domino's? Who?
Well, it's not Domino's, so who cares?
oh boy,
I want my pizza.
you got pizza?
No, but I want pizza.
Okay,
That does sound nice right about
Yeah.
now. Why would you say that? Now I want pizza.
sure, I'll go get pizza.
All right, so
But yeah, so that's my feelings on Dark Souls.
All right,
3.
so next thing would be Sekiro.
Sekiro. That's the last one. right?
Sekiro is
Is it Shadows Die Twice?
Sekiro Shadows Die Twice.
Okay.
Shadows Die Twice is like the
Dead Dreams Don't
subtitle.
Die?
Yeah. It's Shadows Die Twice is the subtitle. Let me tell you right now.
Actually, before you go, how many people do you think will know that reference?
2, and they're both at this table.
In this room.
All right, so Sekiro. People were really upset that this was now Bloodborne 2.
I remember that, yeah.
People were really upset because there was a teaser that came out for it,
And it looked
was-
like Blood, because it only just had From Software,
Yup,
right?
Yeah.
Yep. And everyone was just like, "Oh, this is Bloodborne 2. If this isn't Bloodborne 2, I'm gonna throw a shit fit." I remember Tomato from the Kriken's crew. He was just like, "Oh, this is Bloodborne." Nope, no, it was not. But it was still a great game. It was actually probably my second favorite. I've only played through it once in its entirety, but it had all the same strengths that Bloodborne had, which was it's really fast, got really good enemy variation. The art style is incredible. If you don't even have to play it to notice how great it looks.
And of course, we've talked about this on the show before. Correct me if I'm wrong. It has a grappling hook, yes?
It does have a grappling
Which
hook.
automatically makes a game better.
Yes.
Yep.
It has a grappling hook, and that grappling hook, it is very fun to use.
I literally just edited that episode
Yeah.
last week with you saying that.
Yeah.
Yeah. No, the grappling hook, it definitely make sure you know that it's in there for a reason, because you literally can't get past some enemies and stuff without it. So it's great. There's a lot of really awesome level design, some really shitty bits of level design, but it's okay.
I like the big snake.
Yeah, the big snake is really great.
I haven't played the game, but I like the big snake.
He kind of overstays his welcome a little bit, because there's like 3 sections where you have to like sneak around him, and if you die, you have to start all the way back at the beginning, so it's kind of not fun. But it is a very fun game, and the final boss is probably the hardest I've been challenged in a game ever. You need to be perfect. And you need to understand every system of the game. It is the only game where there is no like tangible stat increase that will help you survive like big attacks.
Yeah, because it's mainly pure combat, right?
It is very much a combat focused game. You need to master it. There are like
so literally Devil May Cry.
yeah. Yeah, kind of. I mean, you have to, like, you can increase your health. There's stats you can increase. You can upgrade stuff. You can use different equipment, but it's not a stat game like Bloodborne or Dark Souls is. It's very much like you need to master the combat. You need to know how to block stuff. It's actually a lot like a rhythm game, because enemies have rhythm attacks where they do
Guitar
stuff.
Hero.
It has been directly compared to Guitar Hero. I'm not.
All right.
I'm literally not joking. It's really good, and it's probably why I was so good at it, because I loved Guitar Hero back in the day. It's very fun, but you need to master the game to be able to finish it. Yeah, I am the only one in my friends group who's finished it. Which, you know, I have 4 other people that I know that have tried playing it and gotten very far, but not finished it.
So do you want to talk about Elden Ring now, or do you want to do the tier list?
Let's do the tier list, because Elden Ring isn't out yet.
No. Do we want to talk about the Demon's Souls remake? Because I have one thing I want to say about it.
All right, say it quickly then.
Don't buy it.
Got it. All right, so
It's not worth it. It looks great, but it's the same game from way back when, and there's no reason to buy it if you've played it
But
before.
I mean, like I feel like most people haven't played that original version.
Yeah, a lot of people haven't, and the graphics are really good, but they're not, like, you're still going to have a rough time with the game mechanics.
So what you can do, you can either try and find an original copy of the original Demon's Souls on PS3, or try to find a PS5 and get Demon's Souls on the PS5.
Or you can just get the PS3 emulator that is now
That
working.
works too.
It's actually working well now.
oh, is it?
And they did move on to a PS4 emulator, which I think is sort of up and running.
Man, you know, I do find it funny how now we have a PS3 emulator now working, and Sony's like, listen, guys, we don't want to touch backwards compatibility for a PlayStation. We don't even know how this works. And then some dude in a basement goes, I'm in.
That's the thing with with PS3 though, is that it took them like a decade to get that emulator working, because the PS3's is like architecture is so fucking weird.
I know.
Like, game developers had such a hard time like making games for it, because they're like, what the fuck is this?
Yeah. Most ports of 360 games, like, not only were they delayed for PlayStation 3, some of them were broken. Like,
Really?
Bayonetta has a terrible frame rate.
I didn't even know Bayonetta was on PS3.
Yeah, no, it was on there. It had a terrible frame rate and like a lot of textures gone. Mass Effect 1 just constantly crashed. And you had to specifically hope you didn't have a disc that crashed at like, there's one story point, I think, like on the Citadel, where it crashes and you like can't get past that point.
Yeah, I remember that. Yeah.
Yeah, it was weird.
Yeah, PS3 had a lot of very weird, very specific problems.
Yeah.
All right, so tier list.
Tier list. All right.
All right.
S, A, B, C, D, F.
Oh shit.
Dark
Okay.
Souls. No,
No,
Demon's Souls.
Demon's Souls original.
Demon's Souls original. I'm gonna put that at. I'm gonna put it at a B.
And why?
A B because it is the precursor to the series, and for what it does well. But the things that turned people off from it are, you can see them and they're just not good.
Okay.
So I'd say it's very much middle of the pack.
Okay.
All right, so like solid B.
It's
Solid B.
It's a solid B.
Solid B.
Okay. Dark Souls.
Dark Souls, I'm gonna put at an A.
A. High A, low A, mid A.
I'm gonna say it's a high A.
High A.
Okay.
All right.
Because the only thing that I can really say was 100% bad was just the last couple areas, and most of the time you won't notice it.
All right. Dark Souls 2.
I'm gonna put for me personally, I'm gonna put Dark Souls 2 at a C.
At a C. Okay.
High, mid, low.
It's like a high C.
High C.
Because
Okay.
you can play it
I
and
love
have a
that
good
drink.
time.
Yeah.
I love Ecto Cooler.
You can play it and have a good time, but it's definitely not something that I'd play just on my own time.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so then there's Bloodborne, which I'm already kind of thinking of the letter in my head.
It's an S plus tier.
Yeah,
That's what I figured.
Yeah, that's what I figured. All right, we
Wait,
don't.
should we include DLC in the tier list or
No, that's way too much work on my end.
Yeah.
I don't want to because I use like actual like box art for like the tier list, and I don't want to be like, is there box art
There's
for
box art
Scholar?
for Old Hunters?
Yeah,
I know.
but for like Scholar of the First Sin.
I think they redid
Do
the
they?
box art
Yep.
for it. Yeah.
It's all changed.
All right. You can throw DLC in there too.
Okay.
All right. Well, okay.
So Scholar of the First Sin.
Scholar of the First Sin is probably going to be it's going to be a little higher. So I'll put it at like a maybe like a B, like
Okay,
a solid B, not a B
B.
plus, but
So mid B.
mid B.
Okay, all right.
It fixed a lot.
All
Yeah.
right. Okay.
Okay.
And then Old Hunters.
Old Hunters is
Also S?
plus tier.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, so there was literally no point of doing DLC.
No, I
guess
It's
not.
just all S tier.
Well,
the whole
except for
package is
Scholar.
S tier.
Except
Well,
for
we-
Scholar.
Yeah. Then
Yeah.
we have the Dark Souls 3.
No,
DLC.
I just meant for Bloodborne specifically.
all right.
All right, so then it's Dark Souls 3,
So Dark Souls 3, I'm going to put at just a. I'm going to give it an A minus.
A minus.
like an A
So
minus.
low A. Okay.
Low A.
Yeah.
Okay.
It did a lot of cool stuff, and it's a lot of fun to play with friends. The online functionality is the best it's ever been in the series, but it was not very different from what I've played before.
Okay, then the DLC.
We'll do both DLC. So
Yep.
Ashes of Ariandel.
Ashes of Ariandel, it's about the same with the main game.
So A.
Yeah, about an A.
Okay. And then
About
Ring
an A.
City.
Ring City, I will put at an A plus.
So high A. Okay.
High A. Okay.
And then finally Sekiro.
Sekiro, I'm going to put it at an A plus.
At an A plus. All right, so now I'm throwing you on a loop.
Oh no.
Okay.
I googled Soulsborne because Soulsborne is like a genre.
Yeah.
Yep.
At this point, so I just grabbed a couple franchises that are also like this, and you're gonna throw them in with all the other tiers. Okay.
Let's do it.
All right, I haven't
Okay.
played all of them.
I'm not
so,
saying playing. So you if you haven't played them, just say nope.
I
Oh wait,
only-
hold on. Before we forget, Demon Souls Remaster. Where does that go?
Demon Souls Remastered is exactly where the original Demon Souls is.
Which
Okay.
What was that? A B?
It was a,
a
yeah,
B.
it was a
I
B.
think
it was a B.
It was a B.
All right. So I got 5. I got 5 here.
I only know one that he's played. I don't even know what you have on the list, but I know I only off
Okay.
the top of my head I only know one that he's
Okay.
played.
Well, okay. And if you haven't played them, you don't gotta tier them. Just say I haven't played them.
Okay.
The Surge.
What is the Surge?
The Surge.
Oh no.
I don't even know what this game is.
Oh god. Okay. I know about this one. I have only played a little bit of it and I hated it.
So Surge 1 F tier.
Surge 1 is probably gonna be like maybe like a D.
Wait, one? There's more than one?
Yeah, they just made what was it? Surge 2 a couple years ago.
There's
Oh,
a Surge
God.
2. There's a Surge 2, and I have not played it, but I have heard it is significantly better.
Okay.
Yeah, that's the only thing I heard about it.
Yeah, watch there's a YouTube channel, a guy named Shammy. There's a great video series on them.
Okay.
It's hilarious.
Okay. All right. Lords of the Fallen.
That's F.
Yeah, you know what? Hot
The
take.
F-
That is terrible. That game's awful.
I have reserved in terms of the Soulsborne ranking table. F is specifically just dedicated to Lords of the Fallen. And honestly, anyone who ever says that name should be arrested.
I got.
So that's what those sirens were outside just now.
Yeah, they're coming for you, Josh.
Woo! All right. We also have Jedi Star Wars. What is it? Jedi Fallen Order.
Yep.
All right, I have not played it yet.
Okay. All right. So that one's not there.
I have bought it, but
It's so good.
I have bought it. I've heard really good things about it, so I can't rank it myself. But
All right.
Dave, you could probably rank it.
I did rank Doom 64 when we had Cecil on.
Okay. All right. You're filling it in. Where's it going? Where's it going?
Having not played any of the other Soulsborne games, aside from like a couple hours of Bloodborne where I was in the first section only because I was stuck on the cleric beast.
I have the video of the exact moment that he beat and the look on his face was just like, I never want to be in this room ever again.
So Fallen Order, A.
Hey. All right. Let It Die.
Oh no! Oh my God! That's that free-to-play game.
Yup.
That's so. Was that the one where with like the Grim Reaper and he has 3D glasses? That's a Soulsborne game.
Yeah,
I mean,
it is.
technically, yeah.
Yep. Yeah.
Okay.
It just has like way more dungeon crawler elements to it.
Yeah. I haven't played that game either. I mean, no, I did play a little bit of it actually.
Yeah, I did. I mean, I can think of a pretty decent placing for it.
Yeah, I'm gonna put it a bit like a D. That was not,
It was
bad.
D. Yeah, it was ugly.
It was bad. It looked terrible. The combat was not great. And also you would hit a point where you literally just had to pay to get past everything. And also, like, if you die, like part of the game is like dying, and then your character, like, you can get like, you can't level up past a certain point if you just have one character, so you have to keep dying, and it's a bunch of shit. It sucks.
Yeah. And then we have the final one of, you know what? I'm going to be terrible because I'm bad at pronouncing it, but Neo.
Yep, that's how you pronounce it.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, I played Neo. Neo is good. I played the first game and the second game a little bit. I played a little bit of the second game.
I thought you beat the first game.
I did beat the first game. The first game, I would probably put it like C plus.
Okay.
So I see.
My big problem with it is that the level design fucking sucks. They reuse the same like areas just nonstop. And then they start doing that thing that I really hate where they take bosses and make them as normal enemies after a bit. I hate that. But the first like 3 hours of that game, great. Great. There's a couple fantastic boss fights at the beginning, and they're all like based off of, like, Japanese mythology, so they're super cool. The gameplay is very stat focused, like really stat focused, more so than Dark Souls. And it's a great time. Neo 2, haven't really played a lot of it. It's very much the same. Don't really know much about the level design.
Honestly, I kind of forgot Neo 2 even came out.
Neo 2 came out right when Doom Eternal came out.
That's probably why.
So a lot of people just were like, "Oh,
Oh yeah, because that month had like so many bangers. And
It
then
did,
because
yeah.
like it was Animal Crossing and Doom that very weekend.
yeah." I
So
distinctly
it kind of similar to how Mad Max got buried by Phantom Pain.
It got buried. Yeah. I remember distinctly. It was literally like the week I got furloughed from work, and I was like, "Oh, I'm all right," because Doom Eternal comes out like next week. And then Keegan texted me. He's like, "Hey, Neo 2 came out. Want to play it?" So I spent $60 on it, and then we played it for like 3 days. And then Doom Eternal came out, and I still have not touched Neo 2 again.
All right. So you're locking in your answers. Those are the five I found.
Those are the
right.
yeah.
All right. So honestly, I was thinking that he wasn't gonna even pick half of them on the list, but I'm just happy that other than Jedi Fallen Order.
Neo was the only one I knew he had played.
I played so little of Lords of the Fallen. That game is so fucking bad.
Oh no, it's terrible. It's so bad. I managed to get to that one boss where you have to it's in the do you know what the graveyard with the thunder guy, and it's
yeah, out of the 20 fucking graveyards in that game.
No, there's one hyper specific one where there's a boss there, and you need to, while also trying to kill a horde of zombies, you have to hide in the mausoleum because the boss off screen will do thunder attacks, and the camera's so awful you can't actually pinpoint where he's gonna be. And the only way to avoid this is if you do a hyper long sub quest or whatever. In 2 areas back to acquire a weapon, to go back to his area, to do something, to make it so that blood, I think it cuts one wave out of the whole entire boss fight. And he shoots thunderbolts a little bit less.
Yeah.
It's awful. I don't know why anyone, I don't even know how that game got a sequel.
I honestly, Lords of the Fallen, the biggest thing that you know how when you're playing a game and you see something and you're like, all right, it's going to be one of these. It was when I realized how close the camera was to the back of your character. And you have, okay, Dave, you have the screen, right? You got this much area. His back takes up 60% of your...
Imagine Dark Souls, but it has the camera from Skate. Just that close.
No. Yeah, it's really bad. You can't see anything. So if anything kind of comes up on your left side, you're fucked.
Yeah, and they tried to make it we're compensating it by making it all linear, hallways. But it's there's hallways that go to the left and the right that I still can't see.
Yeah, yeah, it's really bad.
Yikes.
Your guy's chunky. You got like big armor.
Yeah, he's shaped like a Warhammer Space Marine, where it's just like white.
Yeah,
Oh
the
my
developers
God.
were just like, what if we got Dark Souls, but everyone's like 600 pounds.
All right. So we got to wrap this up. So we're gonna do Elden Ring real quick.
All
Yeah.
right, Elden Ring, it's coming out. It's
coming out.
It's a real game.
Real game.
I'm psyched about it.
It's Dark Souls with a horse.
Yeah,
Yeah.
the best description I've heard is it's big Dark Souls because it's like actually like it's like actually open world.
And then they have George R.R. Martin of Game of Thrones fame writing the lore. Not the story, the lore.
Do you want to know the funniest part about that?
What?
So he did an interview with I think it was I forgot who it was, one of the big game you know. I don't think it was IGN, but whatever. Basically, he said that he wrapped up work on this like 12 months ago.
Yeah, I saw that. He's been done with that game.
Like he's like been done with it for a while, and the game's just been just chilling.
Because again, he only wrote the lore. He didn't write the
Yeah.
game itself.
Well, to be fair, the story of
I mean, yeah, that's
any
fair.
of these games is just the lore.
yeah,
I
it's
guess
just
that's true.
it's just the wikia for the
Yeah.
for
Yep.
the game. That's the
Yeah.
lore.
Yeah, I don't know. I can't really say with any certainty if this game's gonna be good, but I mean, like, if it's anything like any of the other Souls games, it's gonna be pretty good. I hope it's as good as Bloodborne. I hope so, but you know, whatever.
All right, so real quick, just for shits and giggles, with the limited amount of knowledge you have about Elden Ring, where does it go on the tier list?
Yeah.
It's gonna go on the S tier. I'm excited as fuck for it.
All right.
Great. We're gonna have
It's gonna
another
be-
cyberpunk incident. He's gonna hype it up so much,
mean-
and it's gonna be trash.
I mean, listen here. I have just the perfect algorithm to figure out how good this game is gonna be. It's called Big Dark Souls. Dark Souls is at an A right now.
It
so
does
Big Dark
have
Souls,
a horse, so I mean,
Big Dark Souls means that it's got to be higher on the tier list.
Listen, I
got
did
a
the
point.
math. I did the math. 1, it's Dark Souls. That's already at a 90. Plus 5 because there's a horse. Big,
Yup.
you times it by 2. Game of Thrones guy, he didn't do season 8, so it's only about like 7 points. Okay, but so that's equal to like 1,020%.
And
That's-
also, there's like an immersive open world, like big place.
yeah, minus 50 because it's an Ubisoft title.
Yeah.
Yep.
No, I just remember seeing there was some like shithead guy on like on Reddit who was just like, I'm not excited for this because it's an open world game, and open world games suck.
Whoa, is this 2011 all
Whoa.
over again?
And I'm just like, do you know the game developer you're talking about right now? Do you think they're Ubisoft? Really?
yeah, it's like every open world game is it's just Ubisoft.
I mean, like, I like, it doesn't take much to show that Ubisoft does open worlds like really fucking boring. Like, they don't do them well. But then you just look at, like, I don't know, Ghost of Tsushima or whatever, and they did an open world that's like good.
Yeah, look at literally any other developer who's made any other game.
Like even GTA.
Yeah,
you
GTA.
you have a ton of fun in GTA, and that's the most bare bones open world there is.
Yeah.
The reason Ubisoft's open world sucks so bad is because it's a checklist of shit to do.
Yeah, because it's designed to make you keep consistently
Yeah.
playing so that all you play is their Assassin's Creed until the next one comes out in about 12 months, and then you are required to play that game, and then there's a new ginormous set of checklists that keeps you playing, and you can't play anything else.
Or then you got Far Cry, or just like, oh, I gotta blow up 50 towers and then kill 40 mountain lions.
At least with Far Cry, you can just kind of screw around.
Yeah, you can.
Yeah.
Unless you're Far Cry New Dawn, where they turned it into a loot game.
Or unless or you could do secret option C, where you can be like me and Dave and just stop playing after Blood Dragon.
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, Blood Dragon was a banger.
I know, right?
There's another Blood Dragon game coming in, I think.
No, it's a remaster.
Well, you're using remaster very nicely. It's just a nice port.
Yeah. And it's locked behind the
Season
the
pass for
Far Cry
6.
That sucks.
Yeah, and then they're like, okay, I know this is a total aside, and then we're gonna wrap it up. I promise. Please stay with me here. But they announced the season pass at E3, and they're like, you can now get. There's gonna be a DLC where you can play as all the villains from Far Cry 3, 4, and 5. And it's like, oh, that's cool, I guess. And it's like,
Voss and
two dudes.
Yeah.
Don't know their names.
Pagan Men. and then the
shirtless dude.
the priest guy, the guy with the really high res snot coming out of his nose.
I don't know. I don't want anything to know.
So then they were like that, and then they kind of said, and of course we will be including Far Cry 3 Blood Dragon within the season pass. And I'm like, guys, we really need to make backwards compatibility mandatory on all consoles because they can't keep getting away with this. Yes, they cannot.
The whole reselling content shit. It's got to stop.
Like what was it? Assassin's Creed Odyssey. You can get Assassin's Creed 3 ported with Liberations. Okay, what are you doing for the next Assassin's Creed? Rogue. We're doing Rogue. Rogue's getting ported.
Yeah.
Why? What? Who was like, guys, I really need Rogue in this season pass or else I'm not gonna get it.
Who the fuck wanted Assassin's Creed 3? Isn't that like the worst one?
Yeah, people don't really like Assassin's Creed 3.
It's 50-50. People say it's the worst, or other people say it's the best. I think it's just kind of boring.
I've heard the word. I've never heard anyone call
Oh
it the
no,
best.
I get so much flack for saying that it's like the worst.
Really?
Yeah. Like people's like, well, one is technically worse, and it's like, well, one kind of had like charm to a degree.
Well, I mean, like
Again, I've only played 1 and 2, so
I haven't played any of them.
Well, then it's fine. Don't worry, they're not worth it. Maybe like 2 on a good day. That's
I've
the only one
heard
that's worth
2
it.
is good.
2 is very fun.
I thought 2 was fine personally.
Well, that's because you like chunky games like Assassin's Creed 1, and that's fine. With Altair, Mr. No Personality.
I said they're fine. I didn't say.
I like games that you can play endlessly.
I liked the little hub world that you can upgrade. That was fun in 2.
Oh my god, that wasn't
Yeah,
2.
it was fun.
I confused that with Brotherhood. All right, so anyways, we're wrapping it up now.
All right.
We're clean. Brian got his
you finally
sanctioned
took a
bath.
bath.
I'm showered now, or
Yeah.
I mean, bathed.
Yeah, bathed.
He's all squeaky clean.
Yep.
I can hear the squeaks.
I'll have to come back and talk about Halo next.
Yeah. Next episode's Brian Bathtub. It's about Halo with the same exact title of.
Yeah.
Boy, do I have some shit to say about Halo.
Okay, well, that means I have to finish the whole series quick. Oh no.
Well, I already know Dave's good because we already played through all the games except for 5.
Except for 5, because 5 doesn't have split screen co-op.
Yeah, fuck that.
Yeah.
You can come over and play Halo Wars 2. Or Halo Wars.
Yeah. So with that out of the way, this has been Brian's Bad Time. I'm Howard.
I'm David.
I'm Brian.
There we go. This is Brian's Bad Time, and we'll see you all next time.
Goodbye.
Bye.